Good evening. I'm Jack Fink, political reporter here at CBS 11 in Dallas-Fort Worth, and welcome to those of you watching on CBSDFW.com and our CBS DFW Facebook page. We're going to be taking some questions in just a bit, so get them ready. The second presidential debate is now in the history books, and joining me to discuss this is the director of debate at UT Dallas, Scott Herndon.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Professor, who won and why? Was there a winner?
I would have to say I think Donald Trump might have been the winner by a narrow margin.
Why?
Honestly, it's preparation. I think that the bar was pretty low after the last debate, and that the expectations were pretty low as well. And while it might have been easy to exceed them, I think he did. He seemed more prepared. He seemed, except for some of the business that happened at the beginning about the apology, he seemed more policy-oriented as well, sort of taking Hillary head-on in places that have kind of traditionally been home turf for her. And I think he did a pretty good job there.
So let's go to that very first, well, the most anticipated topic, I think is fair to say, and that was the key exchange about his comments from 11 years ago that came out Friday. And let's watch what he said and how Hillary Clinton responded.
This was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it. I apologize to my family. I apologize to the American people. Certainly I'm not proud of it, but this is locker room talk.
I said starting back in June that he was not fit to be president and commander-in-chief. And many Republicans and independents have said the same thing.
Okay, so how did he do there?
Honestly, I think what he was looking for probably was a very succinct 2-minute answer that really got to the core of him. He wanted to apologize. He needed to be very contrite. He wanted to make it very direct and sincere, and I don't think that was accomplished. Everything he said kind of after the apology, even the word apology was sort of like, I've also apologized to the American people. It didn't really come off with the strength and contrition that you would like to see in an answer like that. And everything he says after that is sort of a caveat to it. Every time he mentions Bill or Hillary or other problems that he sees with their ethics and morals, it undercuts the value of that overall.
But you don't believe that it really hurt him then? I mean, based on the fact of what you said earlier, you thought that he came out ahead in this debate. I
think he came out ahead on some. There's two debates, I think, kind of happening here. There's one where he was a lot better on the policy questions, I think, and more engaged. There's also a debate just about sort of the optics of this, and I don't think he grew the tent, I guess is what I would say. He might have won the debate just on a line-by-line kind of way, like who was ahead on each issue. I think he did better than we saw before. But did he convince anybody? I don't know that he did, and certainly not with that apology.
Well, as you know, these polls take time to percolate, but he does maybe live another day, I guess, to the next debate.
Oh, certainly. I think we're going to see a third debate that is actually pretty important. She could have landed a knockout blow here, and I just don't feel like that happened. The third debate will be a big deal. He'll have to perform well, and she'll need to come out a little bit more aggressive.
Do we have any questions yet or
no,
comments?
But we are taking questions. A lot of supporters on both sides. We had a lot of people who were upset with the moderators.
Really?
For interrupting the candidates, especially Donald Trump. A lot of people who were upset that they were interrupting Donald Trump more than Hillary. But, you know, we are waiting on questions, and please, I hope that all of you will write questions on our Facebook Live page.
And
I'm sorry I didn't introduce Aparna Zalani, our awesome producer who's helping me out tonight on Facebook Live. So any questions and comments, let us know. Let's get to another key exchange, and this was also a new topic, the WikiLeaks, or what came out on WikiLeaks late Friday, I guess. And specifically, these were the transcripts from Hillary Clinton's paid speeches to investment banks several years ago, and specifically when she is quoted as saying there should be you need a private and a public position. Let's watch and see what that was about.
And yes, President Lincoln was trying to convince some people. He used some arguments. Convincing other people, he used other arguments. That was a great, I thought, a great display of presidential leadership.
She lied. Now she's blaming the lie on the late, great Abraham Lincoln. That's one that I haven't. Okay, Honest Abe. Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
All right, so what did you think of that exchange on both parts, on hers and his response?
I was a little surprised, but she didn't have a better answer to that. The Lincoln the Lincoln analogy was not particularly strong. There's sort of an adage in debate that if you're explaining, you're losing. And while she has a nuanced position, and she may not be wrong about what she's saying, certainly we bargain to different parties differently, and you must understand your audience. But at the same time, if you're having to explain that to people, you're not really getting to the crux of the matter. Now, his Lincoln jab was a little bit funny, but at the end of the day, what we didn't see there was she baited him. She pivoted a little bit to taxes on that as it went on, and he took the bait. He could have. WikiLeaks seems like a strong area where key things for him. One was part of that discussion was about trade, which is a place he could be strong. Secondly, political insider, outsider kind of stuff, another place where he could be pretty strong. He didn't hit it.
Well, we were talking during the debate. That was a missed opportunity for him to talk about the trust issue that clouds her candidacy. Is that right?
Yeah, he overlooked like I said, I think he was strong there at the very beginning. He had sort of a canned line. She made some comments and kind of pivoted to his tax returns, and he took the bait. The whole rest of the WikiLeaks discussion was co-opted by that. So that's kind of a win for her there, a place where I thought it's a brand new issue, something important to talk about, some place that he can hit her on things that are strong for him, and I just didn't feel like he really took the opportunity to win there.
And, you know, this was an interesting debate in the sense that here they had voters asking the questions. And we were watching. Normally, we would say, at least given history and past debates such as this, we would say, gee, I mean, did they really talk to these folks? And you said to me during this, doesn't seem to matter, this debate. Why not?
I think the fireworks of this and the kind of... I don't know if we've ever seen two candidates who so openly seem to dislike each other. And I kind of feel like we're enjoying that a little bit as a consumer of this particular campaign. She may have connected more, I think. She made it just interpersonally, she made an effort to go over. She used their names, but I don't think Mr. Trump ever did. She would say, Mr. Washington at the end, and whoever else she was talking to, she tried to remember those things. But I don't know that anybody's really noticing that. We kind of want to see him trade punches, and we certainly got that. You know, so.
It was interesting because right when they came out, they didn't even shake hands like they did at the first debate.
No, there was no handshaking, and you could watch their nonverbals when they're kind of on and off. You know, when they're not speaking, they're on camera. Like Trump did a lot of pacing, and just for a good portion of the debate, seemed agitated and irritated. And then about halfway through, it kind of turned. When he was starting to pick up a little ground, you could see that Hillary was starting to become frustrated as well. Like I said, these are two candidates who there's no love lost.
Well, Professor Scott Herndon from UT Dallas, thank you so much. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have this evening. But we're going to continue our conversation coming up on CBS 11 News at 10 and at 10:30. We're also doing a poll on our Facebook page, so please take a look at that. I'm Jack Fink. We hope you'll join us shortly on CBS 11 News at 10. Have a good evening.